At first glance, it's easy to notice how still he is. Not frozen, not tense exactly, just very quiet, as if he's learned that being small and unnoticed is the safest way to exist. His coat hangs heavily from his body, uneven in places, dull in others, carrying the weight of time and things we don't need to name. Beside him, the golden retriever pauses, curious but gentle, lowering his head slightly, as if sensing that this moment matters. There's no rush here. Every movement is slow, deliberate, meant to say one simple thing without words. You're safe right now. The rescue dog's eyes move carefully, watching hands, watching the other dog, listening to unfamiliar sounds in the room. His breathing is shallow but steady. The golden retriever settles nearby, close enough to offer warmth, far enough to give space. That quiet companionship does more than any command ever could. Before anything changes on the outside, there's time spent just being here together. A hand rests lightly along the rescue's shoulder, not pressing, just existing. Fingers move with the grain of the fur, stopping when the body stiffens, continuing only when the tension eases. You can almost hear the soft sound of fur shifting under touch, a faint rustle like dry grass moved by a careful breeze. Little by little, the dog's weight sinks downward, no longer held up by alert muscles, but supported by the floor beneath him. The coat tells its own story. Mats cling close to the skin, some loose, some tight, all handled patiently. The first strokes of the brush are barely audible, a soft whisper as bristles meet fur. When resistance appears, the movement slows even more, working around it rather than through it. Each gentle pass loosens just a bit of what was stuck, and with it, a small piece of discomfort lifts away. The golden retriever watches, tail resting still, offering quiet reassurance simply by staying. As the brushing continues, subtle changes begin to show. A patch of fur separates cleanly where it once clumped together. Light catches differently on the coat, no longer swallowed by tangles. The rescue dog shifts his paws, then relaxes them again, learning that this sensation, though unfamiliar, doesn't need to be feared. The sound of the brush becomes rhythmic, steady, something predictable. Predictability brings calm. When it's time for water, everything slows again. The first trickle is warm and controlled, more of a suggestion than a command. It touches the fur gently, darkening it, releasing the scent of old dust and time. The dog flinches for a moment, then pauses. Hands stay steady. The water stays soft. There's no pressure to accept it all at once. Gradually, the warmth seeps through the coat, reaching skin that hasn't felt this kind of care in a long while. As shampoo is worked in, fingers move in slow circles, careful around sensitive spots. You can hear the faint sound of bubbles forming and popping, mixed with the quiet splash of water meeting the tub. The coat begins to respond, lifting slightly, no longer weighed down. The dog exhales, a longer breath this time, and his head lowers just a little. Nearby, the golden retriever shifts closer, nose twitching at the familiar scent of soap, then settles again. Rinsing takes time. Water carries away what no longer belongs, and each pass leaves the fur lighter. The sound changes too, from a muted patter to a cleaner flow as water runs freely instead of catching in knots. The dog's body follows that same pattern, easing, releasing, letting go. By the time the last of the shampoo is gone, his stance looks different, not dramatic, just quieter, more comfortable in itself. Drying begins with a towel, pressed and lifted again. The fabric absorbs moisture with a soft, muffled sound, like gentle footsteps on carpet. No rubbing, just careful contact. When warm air follows, it's kept at a distance, low and steady. The hum is constant, never sudden. Fur starts to fluff slightly, separating, revealing its natural texture beneath what once hid it. As drying continues, the dog's ears flick once, then settle. He's listening, but he's not bracing anymore. The brush returns, gliding more easily now, tracing paths that were impossible before. Each stroke leaves behind a smoother line, a clearer shape. The coat begins to reflect light, not brightly, but honestly, showing what was always there under the neglect. Trimming is slow and precise. Scissors move with intention, removing only what's necessary. The sound is soft and crisp, barely noticeable unless you're listening for it. With every small snip, the outline of the dog becomes clearer, not transformed into something new, just revealed. His legs look lighter, his chest less burdened. He stands more evenly, weight balanced instead of guarded. Throughout it all, the golden retriever remains nearby, occasionally shifting position, occasionally offering a gentle nudge of presence. There's no interference, just quiet solidarity. The rescue dog glances over once, eyes softer now, then looks forward again. That small moment says enough. Detailing takes time, especially around the face. Fingers move carefully near the eyes, clearing fur that once blocked his view of the world. As it's trimmed away, his gaze lifts. Not wide, not startled, just clearer. The mouth relaxes, jaw unclenches. A little more of who he is becomes visible with each careful movement. By the time everything is finished, the change is undeniable, but it isn't loud. The coat lies clean and even, moving naturally when he shifts. His posture is different, not because he's been trained, but because he's more comfortable carrying himself. He stands, then sits, then stands again, testing this new lightness, this absence of weight he didn't know he could lose. The golden retriever steps closer now, greeting him properly, nose to shoulder, tail moving slowly. The rescue dog doesn't retreat. He stays. He accepts it. In that quiet exchange, you can see relief settle in. Not excitement, not celebration, just peace. Where there was once heaviness, there is now ease. Where there was once stillness born of caution, there is stillness born of comfort. The room feels calmer, as if it's breathing with him, and in that calm, the dog simply exists, clean, cared for, and finally at rest in his own skin.